many of you might know, the Backrooms movie came out recently, which I was so fucking excited for, you can't even comprehend. Because for the longest time, a couple of you might remember, my old channel banner, which I will pull up right now, my banner was a level 11.2. Oddly specific level. It's just, I was just so into the Backrooms that I just saw this image and was like, yep, this is my banner. Not only that, I've been a fan of the Backrooms basically since it originally blew up in 2021. My fascination with the Backrooms led me into getting into Liminal Spaces, a little genre that I'm really interested in, and you know, sometimes I take pictures from time to time. All of this led to me making my very first video on this channel, which was a little 2-minute video about Liminal Spaces and Five Nights at Freddy's. But let's be honest, there's a lot more I can talk about than just 2 minutes, so that's what I'm gonna do here. The definition of the word liminal is being in a in-between state, place, or time. It is derived from the Latin word threshold due to the fact that it describes the transitional moment between two stages, for example, a hallway or an airport, or something you wouldn't really think twice about since you're more focused on getting on where you want to go. But these places emphasize that in-between space. Now, in this video, I don't want to restate most of the things I said in my last video, because I do think some of the things I said in that video still hold up. I think most of everything I said does hold up. I think Fnaf 1 and 2 and 4 are pretty liminal for their own separate reasons. Fnaf 1 and 2 do give off this lonely dread kind of feeling to them I really like. And Fnaf 4, it's a dark house, bro. It's bound to be a little liminal. I mean, just look at this fucking hallway. And even though I did include Fnaf 3 in the little intro to this video, I don't think that game is very liminal. What I mean by that is, while I do think horror attractions can be liminal, most aren't. I feel like there is a very clear distinction between having a spooky aesthetic and being liminal. And Fazbear's Frights kind of falls under the spooky aesthetic more than the liminal. But if you disagree with me, feel free to write down in the comments why you think Fazbear's Frights is liminal. No one's gonna argue with me when I say Security Breach has a lot of problems. From the rather boring missions, the dialogue, the characters, the lore, and a bunch of other stuff, this game does a lot of things that are, you know, pretty shit. Like, if FNAF 2 didn't exist, this would be the worst FNAF game in my opinion. But FNAF 2, you're still up there. But there's one thing that I quite like about Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, and it's the environment. The environments in this game at the time were some of the best we've ever seen. You know, it's a fucking mega mall. It was bound to have cool areas. But Security Breach, I don't know what it was. I don't know if because it had such a tight schedule or anything. But a lot of areas in Security Breach are just empty. I think you know where I'm going with this. When it comes to the older FNAF games, I say they have liminal qualities. But when it comes to Security Breach, I can confidently say this game is liminal. The Pizzaplex is absolutely massive and stale. And besides Vanessa or Vanny, the only actual other human in this location is, of course, Gregory. And yes, there are threats around everywhere, but there's often times you'll catch yourself just walking around in this absolutely giant mall with no one there. And it doesn't help that the Pizzaplex itself is pretty strange. Sometimes things are way too spaced out and kind of make no sense for it to be this way. And if you want to, you can go and try this. Go to an area that has no threat in it and just stand there. For me personally, I get this little surreal feeling for a couple of seconds. Security Breach also has a bunch of areas where you'll just be walking around through a brightly colored hallway that just leads to one giant ass door. Like, that's its only purpose. A notable area of liminality for me would be Phaser Blaster. I think that area has many little liminal areas. Another example of a liminal area would be the hallway that connects the atrium to the bakery, or the hallway that connects the bakery to the atrium, whichever way you're coming from. Why are the hallways so wide? And like, there's basically nothing in here. Like, yeah, there's things on the wall and everything and a couple seats, but this hallway's practically empty. There are a bunch of more examples of these giant places in this map with basically little to nothing in it. Like, off the top of my head, I'd say Bonnie Bowl is one of them. Like, the hallway to Bonnie Bowl, like, yeah, there's stuff in there, but like, if this was a real place, I don't think it'd be this empty at all. I think there'd be a lot more decorations than there is in actual Bonnie Bowl. And another area is the atrium itself, which, I mean, I'll just show you myself. That's about to be like the only piece of Security Breach gameplay you ever see, so strap on in. Alright, where am I? I'm in, oh, for the outfit video. Look at this fucking place, man. Like, if people wanted to come to a show, like, they just have to stand here? And then what's like where Roxy's at? What's the point of that empty space? See, like genuinely, what is the point of this? I know it's a hallway, no shit, but like, look how empty this is, bro. And this big ass hallway just to go to this one giant ass door. I have for faster blaster. I'm gonna keep this in my hand. I might have to fuck up Roxy if you don't fucking aim. What? You can't fuck with me. I'm him. Why would I do that? What the fuck? I can confidently say that's not my proudest moment. So that's really all my thoughts when it comes to security breach. I do think, like I said before, it's liminal. If you try to debate this with me, I will kill you. I know the security breach section was pretty short, but I gotta talk like about things overall. If you really want a deep, comprehensive look at specifically security breach, watch these two videos. Those two videos are really good, and yeah, that's really about it when it comes to security breach. Alright, something that I do feel is worth mentioning is that there was actually going to be a Fnaf fan game that was in production that was hugely inspired by Liminal Spaces. The game was called the Fazbear Funhouse, which was being made by a very popular Fnaf SFM YouTuber Bonbon Films. It started development at like around 2020, I'd say, with Bonbon over the years releasing several renders of the game and in-universe websites that talk about the founder and the characters. Speaking of them, in this game, they aren't your typical animatronics. They have this old mascot feel, but it doesn't feel like an animatronic. It feels like, you know, those employees that walk around in Chuck E. Cheese with like just wearing this sweaty ass suit, and it's a much more uncannier look. So I think it's pretty nice. But even though this game was promoted as like a liminal space type game, we never got to see any actual environment or gameplay, which really gets me wondering how far in development this game got before it was canceled. Because yeah, I mean, it looks cool. You can have these sick models and everything, but if we don't even know what the hell the office looks like, that's pretty damn weird to me. If you ask me, I don't think the game was being worked on like that, because to be fair, as far as I know, Bonbon isn't a game developer, he's an animator, so making renders and models are his bread and butter. So I don't think this game, in terms of gameplay, was really being worked on before it got canceled. But just something I wanted to put out there. Really cool little game. Sad it got canceled. That's really about it. Initially, when I first started like doing the draft for this video was going to be like the other two videos that I mentioned earlier, but I kind of wanted to deviate from that because I thought that'd be pretty boring if I just like went like, oh look, this is liminal because it's liminal. So I wanted to actually talk about like a couple more other things than just, you know, the spaces themselves. We're doing pretty good with the uploads. So recent my videos have been performing like trash. I don't know why, like fucking, I know exactly why. YouTube's giving me like actually like fucking 0 impressions. They're kind of fucking me in the ass. Hopefully they won't fuck me in the ass anymore. And I hope this video does well. If it doesn't, too bad, so sad. We'll keep going. Dog watching is being worked on. It's gonna come out one day. I put that on everything. Alright, I know like 2 people in total are going to care about my thoughts on the movie, but for those 2 people, don't worry, I got y'all. So overall, I really liked the Backrooms movie. It was so well made. As someone who's been following the King Pixel series since the first episode came out, this whole movie, like, I can't even explain it. Like, there was like allegations that he didn't direct this movie just because he was young.
He could only have gotten that idea from Benjamin Netanyahu.
Come the fuck on. Like, if you watch this movie and you've watched the series, you can tell Kane made this. Like, every shot in this movie, it's so Kane pixels. Spoilers if you haven't watched it, but the sequence where Clark was just walking around the Backrooms, I was just in awe at what I was looking at. Like, there wasn't any like spooky music. It was just Clark in these empty ass rooms, but it was so well done that I just couldn't help but be like, damn. And then I also really like Clark as a character. He's my favorite character in the movie. And the other characters like Mary, Kat, and I'm pretty sure the other dude's name was Bobby. They were pretty good. It's kind of sad that Kat and Bobby died so fast, but you know. And Mary, I do like her whole little story. Let's see what else we got. Captain Clark. Captain Clark was a pretty good villain. except for the fact that he kind of showed up towards the end. I was going into the movie thinking the villain was going to be the bacteria. I hope he appeared. People just hate on him saying he's a little stick man. He can be scary. This shit is scary. If he does introduce the bacteria in the second movie, he's probably going to get like a redesign. But overall, yeah, this movie was so well shot. I was coming into this movie thinking, low-key, I was thinking that I'm gonna like the backroom sections, but the story parts are gonna be a little boring. I absolutely loved the story. I loved everything that had to do with Clark and Mary and shit like that. And then when we got to the backroom stuff, I was like, okay, you know, I like this. Like, if you can make me care about the like quote-unquote uninteresting parts, and then when we get to the cool backroom stuff, I like it. Oh yeah, that's a perfect movie. So overall, I'd rate this movie like a solid like 2, not 2, like an 8.5 out of 10. That's what I'd give the Backrooms movie. I hope that, because there are some problems with it, but I do hope the second Backrooms movie can improve upon these problems. Okay, fuck me, I'm editing this right now. Don't mind the TV. I did not mean to say improve on the problems. I meant fix the problems. And you know, we'll get a solid movie. Well, not solid, a spectacular movie. Alright, bye.